Here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachiku, and we're starting off with the evening rush right here in the city of Lagos. Topical issues have generated quite the buzz across the nation, and most of the time we have analysts right here in the studio who gives us their professional insights into the issues that will be discussed, as well as sometimes they join us virtually. But the important thing is that we keep ourselves abreast on issues. We discuss these issues objectively, analytically, so we have an edified comprehension of what is going on across the country. And I must tell you, a lot happened today. A lot has happened today. But we were having a conversation during the world news at 6 with Mr. Delifanimo. That's why I kept him here. He will soon be going. So I want him to continue on that conversation, and then we'll delve into other topics of interest this evening. Like I said, today the conversation is quite in-depth, or the topics we'll be looking into is quite in-depth. Now, if you did not join us during the world news at 6, I would intimate you on precisely what transpired and why I need Mr. Delifanimo to be here, because he started off a conversation that I think a couple of people do not agree with, or they do not trust that it's coming from him because of the current administration and how things have been going within this administration. So here is the thing. For example, they're warning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, specifically Professor Akintoye, is warning the president to negotiate with them because, according to what he is saying, he's saying that they are being maligned, they are being harassed and intimidated, and they want to break away from Nigeria. Now, when I read that story, I was shocked. Akintoye is warning that keeping Yoruba in Nigeria would lead to abominable deprivations, insecurity, and pains. During the world news, I threw this question to Mr. Delifanimo, and he told me, yes, he's in support of him. I was shocked. I said, how? Because they say the Southwest and the North are husband and wife politically. You cannot go about any political strategization or conversation without having to seek the political consent of the Southwest. And the Southwest too cannot do the same without the North. In fact, most times when there are issues, they don't call each other out because maybe they need to continue to remain together for political alignment. But hearing the fact that this Professor Akintoye, who is the president of that particular organization, they call themselves Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, and Banji Akintoye, saying that the president should call and rather let them have a negotiation, that he had written to the previous administration, nobody called them for a conversation, and he's writing to the president. He's saying that they want a situation where they can leave Nigeria, build a sovereign nation where they're able to preserve their desires, their culture, and their capabilities, and help their young persons. In fact, he said he recounted several letters he has written, and nobody has responded, nobody has said anything. According to him, he said that this is to enable them go and nurse the pains and wipe away the tears of our battered people, and go and build a sovereign state of our own, where we can rebuild our lives according to our desires, our culture, and our capabilities. A country where we shall diligently provide abundant opportunities for all our people. Mr. Delifanimo, thank you once again for joining us this evening.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. I know that I have kept you way long, but I sincerely really need your input. And I also have Mr. Lawal Ekundaya as well. He's a social commentator too. Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, good evening, and thank you for joining us today.
Yes, I will say good evening.
You will say good evening?
No.
You don't want to say good evening before?
No, I don't. I don't want to put the good. It's just the evening. But I'll put the good now, because it's like you are getting on my nerve every time forcing me to say that good. So to please you, good evening.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Lawal Ekundaya. Mr. Delifanimo.
Yeah.
I remember during the world news, because we had a very short time, we had a program coming up immediately. Yeah. I was astounded when you made a statement that you were also in synergy with what Pa Akintoye said. In what regard? Are you saying that the Southwest has not really been benefiting for a very long time when it comes to how the political territory in this country?
Let me start by telling you that this so-called contraption called Nigeria has set the Southwest, particularly backward, for about 45 years, if not more.
Mm-hmm.
You agree with him?
Yes.
Mr. Lawal Ekundaya?
I said yes.
Maybe.
I should spell it.
Sir, continue.
Now, if we had gone at the pace we started pre-independent and post-independence, by now, Singapore would have been child's play. China would have been child's play. But the military came in 1966 and forced unholy alliance, and that has set us back. And as a result of the military intervention, they took away our prized possessions. WNBC was owned by Southwest. They took it and turned it to NTA. The radio arm, they took it and turned to Radio Nigeria. The Liberty Stadium, built from our sweat, cocoa, the first in Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, they took it and named it their own edifice. University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University, was owned by the Southwest. They took it and made it federal government property. And many other things. You think we're happy?
I am surprised.
Well,
I'm genuinely surprised.
Don't be too surprised. I'll also mention some other things. You want to tell me, that's why sometimes when people say, after all, you are in government, which government? Anything that is owned by everybody is owned by nobody. You think if we had been left to grow at our pace, by now, there would have been wondrous monuments
But
in the Southwest.
a couple of states in the Southwest are doing okay, aren't they?
Are they doing okay?
What do you mean by okay?
What do you mean by okay?
Compared
I
to other
have
regions.
a bitumen in Ondo State that I cannot touch for as long as Nigeria remains one. This is something that has been discovered to be the third largest deposit in the world. I cannot touch just because it has to come from executive here from the federal government. Now imagine if I have to do that. Ondo State would be El Dorado. Oil is produced in Ondo State, but the money is taken to federal, and we get a smaller chunk of what we are giving.
So, but it is also with other states, Bielsa, Delta, everything too goes to the process of it goes
well,
to
if it pays them, fine.
It
What
goes
I'm
to
saying that
Image
I am
has
not.
the highest gas deposits.
Esther,
If it pays them and they are not talking, that's their business.
They are talking now.
But we in the Southwest, do you know that we have filed several letters to the UN and UN agency, this is unrepresented nations and people organization? We have written letters to them. They have recognized Odua Republic. What some other people will do with force, even when they wanted to impose force, we shut them down because we can't afford to lose any of our citizens in Yoruba land just because of self-determination. We want to go through robust engagement across the world. We may not get it now, but we will get it someday. And I believe strongly that we will get it before the end of my lifetime.
Amen.
So we are not relenting in spite of the fact that Tinubu is a Yoruba man. It doesn't matter. We are focused. Those who want to bring in militancy to it, we shut them down. They came to Ibadan sometimes 2 years ago. They said they wanted to take over, as stupid as they were. They said they wanted to take over government on a Saturday when the House of Assembly members are not there, when the governor was not in the office. All of them were rounded up. They are still in Agodi prison.
Because I was wondering, I haven't heard about them since.
They are in Agodi prison. They are waiting for their day in court. That's why it rackles my brain when people feel that yes, we are comfortable, we are this, we are that, we are just because we have presidency. Who might even end up becoming a surrogate president to some other people.
In what capacity?
No, show me one thing that has favored Southwest since Tinubu got there. Yes,
Mr. Delifani,
in terms of infrastructure.
Start listing now.
Start listing in terms of infrastructure.
Are you serious? What I'm asking is, I am shocked because there are certain groups. There's one that call themselves Think Yoruba First. They're in support of this administration. We have a lot of chapters on social media.
We are
supported
not
under the
violent in our approach.
under the umbrella of
Esther,
the Yoruba movement.
I can create.
And they're supporting the president. How can you say that that's not the case everywhere? That's not the feeling. Maybe if they have issues against the administration, they can go in the corner, berate the administration. But outside they've been showing that.
Do you know that there are various groups now that have imagined that they don't want this government. Yoruba people, they are not too emotional when they look for the best.
Somebody ask you.
Nobody will say because you are my brother and then you are doing something back and I'll keep quiet. No. And we have a terrible culture here that does not condone all these things that other tribes are doing. Abimbola Davis, you remember ABN, Association for Better Nigeria. Abimbola Davis was second in command to Ato Nzeribe. Till now, they still respect Ato Nzeribe in the southeast. But I can tell you, till Abimbola David died last year, nobody was ready to recognize him. Nobody was ready to identify with him. Okay. I attend the same club with him in Ibadan, recreation club. If you see him, he's seated, isolated. Nobody wants to touch him. Because once you betray the cause, you know where you are. Jakonde couldn't survive it much. Baba Tope, who was supposed to be a protege of Awolowo, he went to serve under Abacha and he never got it right. Yoruba is different. What people will shout to the press, fight, and we will not fight. We know how to organize ourselves underground and get what we want. And you will see one day the proclamation of Oodua Republic.
But do you think it's something that is invisible because the Constitution?
And we're not going to fire a shot.
The Constitution does not support this.
We're not going to fire a shot.
That's the same thing. That's what is still keeping Nnamdi Kanu within the DSS custody for all these years. That's what his trial is ongoing for. You want to say something?
Yes.
You
were saying this and that, saying that and that.
No, I was saying I'm surprised.
When the colonial masters were in Nigeria, this space called Nigeria, who actually did the fighting without one bullet, you get. They gave it to us. Who? The Yorubas. Majorly. You see,
the likes of Bat Macaulay. The likes of Elias.
They gave it to us. Go and see those who fought for this independence now. And it was given to us without shooting one bullet.
We were supposed to get independence in 1957. But our counterpart did not say they were not ready. That was why it dragged on to 1960. And who are the ones making representation? Go and look at the history.
So,
do you think the president will call Pa Akintoye to have a negotiation with him? Because it's surprising that this is something he would say out openly.
I will tell you something that you don't know here today. Even as president of Nigeria, Tinubu has not abdicated that responsibility of supporting Oodua Republic.
You say he has not abdicated that responsibility?
Yes.
But if he has not abdicated it, why is this complaint coming out now?
They are just trying to show the world that, look, the fact that you are president has not stopped us from agitating. But we are not going to fight. We are not going to involve violence. So we know how to get our things. When they truncated June 12th,
yes,
nobody went to war. But we got 1999 election on a platter of gold because as small as Southwest is, we are cohesive and we have leadership. And that's why when it was time for that election, they fielded 2 Southwesterners as candidates for the 2 dominant parties, Olufalaye and Obasanjo. So head or tail, we win. Which region has ever done it in this country? You know what they call Adakeja?
she shook her head and said,
Adakeja means somebody who fights silently.
So when the Yoruba,
do you know why?
You
yes.
need to listen.
Do you know why?
Gra gra.
Do you know why the hawk would take a chicken, but a duckling can never be taken by a hawk? Do you know why? Once the chicken sees hawk or eagle roving in the sky, it will start running up and down, and that moment the hawk or eagle knows that is the length of the chicken's capacity. But the duck will just be looking and will just stay calm. Then something told the hawk that, look, this person that is silent, I don't know the surprise is going to spring. And that's why up to today, you hardly see duckling being taken by hawk. But it will take chicken, because chicken will make noise and the level and the capacity of that chicken will be assessed by the hawk, and that's Yoruba for you.
Very interesting. Mr. Lawal, so in reference to what Mr. Dilifanimo is saying, because I found it very hard to believe when I read this story. It came out this morning, actually, and it was via a letter that was addressed to the president. So based on what Akintoye is saying, for example, he said that if the president forcibly allows them to remain in Nigeria, it will continue to prolong the people's abominable deprivations, insecurity, and pains, that the president should act on this without delay. So what does he want the president to do? Come and say, okay, you know what, come, I'm giving you a letter or notification, you can leave Nigeria with the set of people. Do you think he speaks for the generality of the race, the entire Yoruba race, or it's just a sect of some persons who are not comfortable with how things are going? And if you put it to a referendum, how many of the Yorubas will agree to this?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do the referendum. Oh yeah, maybe we should do it tomorrow.
Maybe.
Let's do that and see. Let's do it now.
When Akintoye called for signatures, do you know how many he collected within 1 week? Over 1 million.
When did he call for signatures? When was that?
That was about 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
That was during the previous administration.
It wasn't a fight for Buhari.
It wasn't a fight.
It has always been there. But we are not going to come to the street because we don't want to lose. We value our children. We will not want to fire a bullet that will make federal government descend on us and kill our valuable children.
Well, if you're just joining us for the first time, you're listening to the Evening Rush on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Some of you may not believe this, but if you are a researcher, if you read, if you keep yourself updated, you will check and see that Akintoye is warning President Tinubu that they cannot forcibly keep Yorubas in Nigeria, that it is prolonging their pain. When I saw this new story which came out this morning, I wouldn't lie to you, precisely I think around 10 o'clock today, I was surprised. I partly discussed it during the World News at 12. Barrister Darlington said that, how can you say you want a nation when you did not fight for it? South Sudan did fight for it. Nnamdi Kanu is in detention because he's fighting for it. So it's not something you need to ask, it's something you need to fight for. And you think it's going to be achieved if some element of persuasion is not implemented in that process?
Can I say something about that?
Say something, please.
When you say fight, there are different ways you fight. There's intellectual fight, there's diplomatic fight.
Okay.
You get all those ones are going on, consulting with international nations, here and there. That's part of it. You get that's a fight because you are not keeping quiet. You are struggling to get that thing which belongs to you. And me too, I noticed because that's why everybody is clamoring for restructuring of Nigeria because this thing is not working. Look at they gave us control that is military style. It doesn't favor anybody except anybody who is in power. That's all. So you can even look at our National Assembly. Where do you have the reps? And then what are we operating? Where the masses are seriously suffering. Nobody you get is enjoying what we have that is called Nigeria.
The reason why.
Okay, let's look at ISWAP. What's the meaning of ISWAP? They want to declare Islamic State in the north. Is that not what they are fighting for?
In West Africa. Why I seem a little bit confused is, for example, if you hear different groups and organizations being set up of recent, I've not even heard of some organizations up until this administration emerged, and most of them are always on the fact that, you know what, we're preserving our culture, we're preserving our southwestern integrity, and to do that you need to support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to achieve that. He represents the Southwest. He represents the interests of the Southwest. External forces are fighting to prevent him from doing so. Those who are challenging his administration or ridiculing him, making derogatory statements, there are people who are just wicked and they don't like.
Tinubu
they don't
is
like.
President of Nigeria, not President of Southwest.
But that's their
own perception.
Made it seem, and that's why people are thinking that the president is a president of the Southwest because of how they go about it. His supporters go about it. They're making it seem like it's the time of the Yoruba. Don't question anything. Let us do our 8 years and go. So when I'm seeing this particular story, I'm surprised.
The president made some statements which I debunked on Sunday that it is Yoruba turn to rule. I said that is not true because Obasanjo ruled.
That was during the campaign. That was during the campaign in 2023. I think that was in Ondo State when he made that statement. He said, "Our local, Emi local." Was it Ogun State or Ondo State?
Ogun State.
Ogun State, precisely, because we discussed this on Sunday.
So what you are saying is this: these groups that you are talking about,
okay,
they are just pockets of people that are benefiting selfishly from the government or whatever. That is the people. If you know, then do referendum. Do it now. Let's see. That's why people are clamoring for restructuring. Everybody is saying restructure. Some people are saying go back to regionalization. Because they see that this thing is not working. It's not working. It's not working.
Let's listen to this. There was a protest today against Omoyele Sowore. I tried to reach out to him to see if he could give us a concept on insight as to why a group of persons are coming out to protest against him. This is the first time I'm seeing persons take their time to come out to protest against Omoyele Sowore, because he's the one that usually organizes, galvanizes, and calls for a protest against certain ailments in the society. So to see a group of persons come out with placards and call him out, I was shocked. I was wondering what the interest was. I reached out to my general manager because he has a contact of Omoyele Sowore, and he says that he has not been able to pick his calls or respond. It's important because in this our job, you need to make verifications when information come like this to hear the plight of the other person, so it doesn't seem like things are one-sided. But for this group to actually taking their time to say, you know what, we want to protest against him, they made a couple of statements, and I will want us to respond to this based on Omoyele Sowore's history and why they are calling for this protest now. Is it sponsored? Is it that he's already calling out the anomalies in the country so much? Do people think he's just self-aggrandizing? I really don't know what the innate issue is here, but let's take a listen to this.
We are here today to address the pattern of reckless rascality disguised as activism. One that has become a dangerous virus in our national life, championed by none other. What began as a promising voice of dissent has now descended into toxic cocktail of arrogance, misinformation, and deliberate blackmail. Sowore has transformed Sahara reporters, like we know, into tools of personal vengeance, publishing unverified, malicious story designed to enlighten, not to enlighten, but to destroy. It has become a theater of ego and vendetta rather than truth. Let's make this clear. Activism is not lawlessness. It is not abuse of digital freedom, nor a free pass to lie without consequence. This is the line Sowore has consistently crossed, times without number. He has substituted sincerity with sensationalism. His criticisms are not born out of patriotism, but of personal bitterness and a bloated sense of righteousness. He sees nothing good in Nigeria, not because there is nothing good, but because he has trained himself to only see through the lens of conflict. Sowore has made a career of malicious blackmail, targeting individuals and institutions with reckless abandon. For example, he falsely and viciously targeted Bukola Saraki, launching a barrage of scandalous accusations with no solid proof, just bias and bravado. He even stood so low to attack Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, a woman whose global integrity in governance and finance stands as one of Nigeria's brightest lights. And what for? To feed a narrative that suits his chaos-driven relevance. He did not spare his longtime friend, Lekan Fatodu, a UK-based journalist whom he blackmailed and was arrested for. He blackmailed Peter Obi and several other political figures to the extent the title of blackmailer in chief was coined for him. Government after government have not been spared by his caustic blackmail antics. even the international media have seen through his hubris and properly now refer to him as a global blackmailer. This is not journalism. It is not civic duty. It is pure digital terrorism in disguise. Worse, the Sowore's pattern of reckless blackmail has become a subtle programming, a dangerous re-education of Nigerian youth and young adults to hate their father's land. This is pathetic. By constantly painting Nigeria as a failed, irredeemable mess, by demonizing every attempt of leadership reform, by screaming down every other voice but his own, is planting seed of disdain and despair in the minds of non-Nigerians. This is not activism. This is indoctrination against patriotism. We therefore call for immediate investigation and prosecution of Omowole Sowore for cyber libel, willful misinformation, incitement, calculated character assassination. Enough is enough. Freedom of speech was never meant to be a weapon of social sabotage. We also urge the National Human Rights Commission, the Nigerian Union of Journalists, civil society watchdog, media regulators to publicly distance themselves from Sowore's practices. Silence is complicity. To stay quiet while one man poisoned the civic space with unchecked lies is to
and irreversible regardless of the obstacles in our path. He says there will be more fierce attacks and propaganda in coming days, weeks and months. They have seen that Nigerians are sick and tired of thieves, bigots, gerrymanderers, mediocre characters, shifty cowards and opportunists. They are very desperate now. No going back. Hashtag no going back. So here is the thing. When Sowore's Facebook account was reported, Sowore said that it was the obedience. I am shocked that he's now referring to these protesters as persons sponsored by the federal government, meaning that he says no wonder that they reported his Facebook page massively and it was brought down. So
things that are not verifiable. Things that are not verifiable. You just mentioned one now. When they were trying to pull down his Facebook page.
Yeah.
He located it within the principle of obedience. Suddenly, they protested today, and he said government was after him. So where do we locate
the
who
grounds
is after him? And you see, Sowore needs to reinvent himself if he wants to remain relevant in activism. Those days when he was in University of Lagos, it's not the same thing as a larger society where you even attempted to become president of Nigeria. The other day when he was talking about being molested, being harassed by the police, fortunately it was close by and we saw what happened. And that day I remember that I said it here, that look, this man has committed an offense, obstructing the cause of justice. Who is Sowore that cannot be stopped by the police? Not many people know him. Even top brass in the police, they will tell you when they are not in uniform, they are like any other civilian. And so a constable, a sergeant, a corporal, or an inspector can accost you and say, who are you? Where are you going? The plausible thing is to answer those questions. And if they are not satisfied, they tell you to come down. They want to see what is inside your boot. You open it for them. It's an everyday thing. And through that process, they have arrested some criminals. So why would Sowore feel that it's too big to be accosted by the police? These are issues. He should step up his game, because he's no longer the student union activist that he used to be. That's my submission.
do you have anything to say? Because I want to open the phone lines. I need people to ask questions, then we can move into other topics.
Now, what I just think is the issue with the thing with Sowore is that there's a proverb in Yoruba that says that tí Yorùbá ń dàgbà ó máa ń yé o. Yes. As you grow
older
older,
you are,
yes,
the more you abstain from drink and ditch.
There's some things you are being to apply. You get that shows that you are an adult. That is, but he is not applying that. Now you are in the face of politics, and you are still acting like you are a student that is, protesting on the in the camp. You see, he needs to begin to learn politics because he's in the space of politics. You get it? He's a politician. He's an activist. He needs to learn to be a politician, not only just an activist. That's his problem. That's what is affecting him. And I keep saying many times, because you are an opposition.
Yeah.
Obi is an opposition. Atiku is an opposition. And you be attacking them as if they are in government.
The issue is this.
I mean, the person is as if he's the president.
The major question here is you galvanize your protest. You galvanize people to say, let's protest against what the government is doing. So if a certain set of persons feel a certain way, all right, based on some certain actions of yours, are they not free to protest against you? How come now that the protest is against you, you think it's a way of mutilating your person or trying to harm you or distort your personality? I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. No. For example, you've organized several protests, call out the government of the day. So now that the same thing is being done to you, you think it is an effort to malign your personality, suppress you or something. I mean, Mr. Delefanimo, in that context.
What I see to that is that though most of what those ones were saying were frivolous, you get it, because but the problem is that he created that opportunity. Now you don't have anybody around you, because both government and opposition, you are attacking anybody just anyhow with that. Sometimes you don't even have any, you just attack, you get you lose support. Even people who go along with you begin to see you as you are directionless. You get, where are you an opposition or you are supporting the government? You can't attack everybody. That is what is happening to you, and that's why things like this will continue against him.
All right, let's take some phone calls, then we'll move on to other hot topics. I know that some persons would like to ask questions specifically on what Pakintoye said about the Yoruba nation. The number to call is 080-3692-9933, 080-3692-9933, and I can see that some of you are already sending your WhatsApp message. So the number on WhatsApp is 0817-1756-338, 0817-1756-338. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
This is Chike.
Chike.
I just want to say something briefly because of the environment I am.
Okay.
You see, Sowore. The difference between Sowore and Wike is that Wike used to talk about his lifestyle in public, but Sowore can talk about every other person personally, but he will not talk about himself. Anytime that guy is under influence of substance, he used to lose control of his statement. And by the time he regains conscience, he will begin to feel like he regrets. You will not get to understand.
Okay, who are you talking about? Are you talking about somebody who took, which person are you saying took substance?
I'm talking to Sowore.
Sowore took substance. Please don't come here and call and make unverified statements. Biko, Chike, let's be very careful. If you don't have any facts, don't make any unverified statement. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello? Yes, good evening. How are you? Hello? All right, 080-3692-9933. That's the number to call. And the WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. Particularly, I want those who want to ask questions or speak on the first conversation we had about Pa Akintoye saying that they want to exclude or, extract themselves from Nigeria. And they're asking the president for a negotiation, that they have been writing to extricate themselves from Nigeria, that continuing to stay in Nigeria is causing them more pain. And I was surprised because I felt that the Southwesterners have always benefited politically, in the country. How come these things are coming to light? Well, we've never heard their agitation beyond Sunday Igboho. And even when Sunday Igboho was agitating, there were some persons who said he was just doing that for himself. He was not speaking for the entire Yoruba race. So I want to know what you think about, based on what we discussed earlier, because Mr. Delefanimo wasn't believing us. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Turn down the volume of your radio.
Okay, well done with your work.
Thank you very much, sir. What's your name? Turn down the volume of your radio.
My name is M.M. Marie.
Sir, turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it off completely.
Okay.
08036929933. Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your radio. Turn it off completely. You can hear me and I can hear you. All right? Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, Esther. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
My name is Pastor Joseph Otiwa from Orilegomu.
All right, sir. Go ahead, please.
Please, what I supported the Yoruba to go.
Eh?
Yes, I supported them. 100% support. As they go, let Igbo go, let Hausa go. So everybody we will have freedom in Nigeria.
Oh. Okay.
I remember I was about 16 years old when we fight to keep Nigeria one. Is Nigeria one today? I run away from school to fight for this nation to keep Nigeria one. Is Nigeria one? So it is better for Yoruba to go, Hausa go, Igbo go. So everybody will have peace. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu from prison. God bless you. Thank you very much.
So if everybody wants to go their own way, which Nigeria could come remain now?
Is it compulsory?
USSR. You need to say in one. We're
USSR,
one nation. Nigeria was balkanized to remember the essence of the national anthem. The essence of the national anthem, bringing back the old national anthem.
Eritrea severed relationship with Ethiopia.
Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello?
Hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir.
You see, that man said we should do something. I agree with that man. That is the best way to keep Nigeria so that we can be happy everywhere we are. You see, God did not create Nigeria to be one.
Yeah.
Are you understanding me?
Wow.
You understand?
I'm listening to you, sir.
Before God and man, God did not create Nigeria to be one. We are just living with forces, forcing ourselves to live. And the Igbos, if the Igbos want to go, it's not by fighting. If one of them can with their teeth one by one, instead of coming to Lagos, develop Lagos, they will develop Alaba International. Tomorrow they will pursue them, develop here, and then government will then separate. You see that Nigeria, everybody will be happy. Do we have one language?
Do you?
Go to Ghana, they have one language. Everywhere have one language. We don't have, you go our language. Which language can I speak to you now? You are from Igbo woman, I'm from Edo. Can I speak Edo to you? You know here.
We have Pidgin. Thank you very much, sir. But we have so coexisted all this year.
That is not true.
No, I'm just saying we've so coexisted all this year.
That is not true.
We've been tolerating ourselves.
That's it now. This tolerance, not coexisting.
Hello, good evening. Good evening, sir. What's your name? All right, John, please go ahead.
They make one proverb say, waiting dog see the shower, woo. Go to don't see and take you can come off it. So, whether you like it or not, sister, that device, I love it so much. You know what president is doing now?
What's he doing?
Stop using embezzling money. I'm the richest man. Taking from part of Yoruba, joining those people who have called themselves Fulani as a Muslim. Inside that they are collecting money, doing competition, destroying their own people. I think Tinubu, no. That might just fuck me up.
Hey. Yeah, national radio, please. Are you sure what you were saying is different from what I've been reading about lately? To be honest with you. And
yeah.
All right.
Did you stop them?
That's the reason why this conversation came up. Was I was actually shocked to hear that, because at this point in time, this separation, I want to go my way, has actually put us back. At this point in time, do we even have the resources for that kind of movement?
See, Esther, let me.
How do we even want to stop?
Let me clarify you. Wait, let me clarify you.
Because former President Muhammadu Buhari has actually given a strong support to President Tinubu's economic reforms. He says that, for example, what the president is doing will not happen overnight. In fact, he says that our expectations from our government should not get heavy. Mr. Buhari said in a statement by his spokesman, Garba Shehu, he warned that necessary reforms and desired changes must not fall victim to nettlesome domestic politics. He says, for example, that he's calling for the support of the APC-led government and urging Nigerians to remain optimistic and confident about the country's future. According to him, the country should be reminded that leadership is a continuous journey as it celebrates the government's milestone. So if this is the effort that the administration is putting together, former president is also showing support to the president and saying that the president's economic reforms are actually going so well. Why is that encouragement not coming? Why is the call for secession coming out now? And then how do you think this would make the country move forward with the bedeviling case of insecurity, trailing the country, putting us behind in a barbaric nature?
Wait, there's something I want to clarify.
Okay, sir.
Let me clarify it.
Please clarify.
When we're going to take independence, you get it? What brought us together was regionalization.
Okay.
You get it? Not this thing we are practicing. This thing was not what brought us together. It was regionalization. Each region developed at your own pace.
Okay.
That was what brought us together. That was the agreement. Not this one in which resources is taken from the south and used in some part of the north in which they are not even contributing anything. That is not what brought us together. And since they have refused to bring us back to the agreement that we had,
you don't think
that is why there is a cohesion.
Mr. Dele-Falemo, you don't think the economic reforms of the president is gradually bringing in that restructuring, that regionalization, that regional system of government? You don't think with the way the whole breakdown is going that is not basically where his administration is towing, gradually bringing in that regional system of government? Where I'm just saying it's a gradual process where, for example, whatever it is your region brings, you're able to benefit from it.
Listen to him.
If you don't take it to the National Assembly and the Constitution is amended to give powers to constituent states that make up Nigeria to develop at its own pace using its own personal resources, we are going nowhere. I tell you today, if that thing is passed, Samfara will protect gold in their domain.
No, they have been protecting the gold. We've been hearing about the fact that they're not sharing the resources.
I am telling you, that's why Tolji and Co are shielding those illegal miners. Because it doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the federal government.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Good evening, Esther. This is Pastor Joshua Line.
All right, Pastor Joshua. I think you've called before.
No, this is my first time. I've been listening to your program.
All right, Pastor Joshua, welcome.
I've been listening to your program for over 2 years now, over a year now.
Are you serious?
I enjoy your program.
Thank you very much.
God bless you. Thank you very much for all your programs.
Thank you. I'm ringing a bell for you.
My greetings to my brothers in there.
All right.
I greet you. I love you so much. I love you. Concerning what we are talking about,
Yeah.
as a matter of fact, if you look at this country, traditionally, religiously, everything about Nigeria and the outside, we are different. People are different. Yorubas are different. Our religion is different. Our tradition is different. Our dresses are different. So I don't think that God put us together. So I support the best thing is just let this country be separate. Let outside be separate. Let Yoruba be separate. Let's see ourselves. That's the only solution. And that's my opinion. I think the best solution. That's the best solution with this thing. Because what we are going through now is hell. Everybody's dying. Everybody's suffering. Normally here, during the Christmas time, I bought a chicken there, and the chicken was almost dead. I threw it out. The thing died.
Yeah.
But you know that somebody picked it and was happy.
Hey.
Dead fowl. She took it and was jubilating that she pissed off where she go chop.
I mean, you think all these marauding headsmen will come into our domain and they will not be crushed? Because already we are an independent nation. They can't have inroads.
Can't have access to.
They can't have access to our territory. But because somebody at the federal level is trying to pander to the whims of certain people who he feels that are important to him, and they are going to be the one to determine if he's coming for the second time,
sure,
he will not be able to do anything. But let it be Igbo for Igbo, Hausa for Hausa, Yoruba for Yoruba.
You don't think at this point we all need each other? Without that, Igbo for Igbo, Hausa for Hausa.
We have defeated that purpose. We have defeated that purpose. Most governors are lazy now because head or tail, they'll go to Abuja at the end of the month, send their commissioner to go and pick money.
Is it that they're lazy or
they are lazy?
They can't make decisions without the approval of the federal government?
No, they are lazy.
Governor Mutwang was crying today. He seemed helpless.
But he collected security vote. What's he doing it for? I mean, what's he using it for? He should come and give account of what he spent that security vote on. You collected the security vote. What did you do with it? Tell us. If it is not enough, we know that you have tried. It's not enough. Tell us what you use that money for. Now, each constituency is collecting 1 billion from the federal now, according to what we had. If a senator collect 1 billion,
2 billion, senator, 1 billion House of Reps.
Do you know what is 1 billion? Do you know what is 1 billion? Do you know? Do you know what is 1 billion in one constituency?
That is just one out of many ways they make money. Oversight function is there.
Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Yeah, how you doing?
I am fine.
Yeah, good evening to your guest.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Remy from Makoka.
All right, Remy, please go ahead.
My question goes to the woman that Eunice called.
Okay,
That
Madam
those clamoring for secession against the peace of this country. I want to ask her, is there peace in this country as we speak? You see, because she's living in Lagos, can she relocate to Benue State? Can she go to Agatu and stay in Agatu as we speak? Let her go there first and call back in the next 1 month and tell us there is peace in this country. You can't be in Lagos or you can't be in your house experiencing a relative peace and be saying there is peace. Is it because the daily killings have been reported by the media? People are being killed on daily basis. People are being threatened not to stay in their house. Was it not or what state that people don't stay at night, they come back in the next day?
Because they come to kill them in the night.
Of course.
Like what happened in Plateau recently.
So imagine if she's one of them. We she come out and tell us there is peace, that someone is trying to truncate the peace, the supposed peace. If secession is what to bring relative peace to this country, let it be. As it is now, Esther, is there really peace in this country as we speak? What are we enjoying as Yoruba, as Igbo, as any part of this country? What are we enjoying? The northerners, the common man in the north, is not enjoying the gold they're mining there? The answer is no. Some as the Yorubas, are we enjoying the bitumen in the Edo State or whatever they're taking out of this country? The answer is no. So it is only the elite, despite their tribe, irrespective of their tribe, they are the one enjoying the state of this country. Okay, so if people believe, okay, what is insanity? Doing the same thing the same way, expecting different results. What have people been doing for the past donkey years? The same thing. There must be Nigeria, there must be Nigeria. Yet, the level of division increases on a daily basis. If you want chemical, Lagos is not Nigeria.
All right,
if you want Nigeria to remain, back to Sambisa Forest, go and stay there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to take a brief listen to Ojus Okalu saying that the reason why a lot of Nigerians are complaining that the economy is too harsh is because they are lazy. You know, that the president has been able to do something that has not been done in in fact, he's the first person to have taken some decisive and authoritarian a step of brazenness to do something that other leaders have not been able to. Economic reality. So let's quickly listen to him.
I'm not a sycophant. This is first president. You know, I have tank farms. This is first president that stopped, because Nigerians are not used to working hard. We are used to getting cheap money. People sleep in their houses and use telephone and get dollar and sell it at very high rate. People sit in their houses and use their tank farms and collect paper and they make money. But this is one president who have said, if you are ready to make money, make it the right way. If you are not ready to make money, you leave it. So I don't think, moreover, they have to vote for him because, you see, President Tinubu is not going to
access to federal resources as a senator of the Federal Republic. Now you are coming to say Nigerians are lazy. Well, he may be free today, but day of reckoning will come. And then he would have to answer charges for how he was able to. When I went to Ojusokalu's village home in Ngbere,
Okay.
when I entered the place, it was in the night.
Okay.
The first question I asked the driver is, how can somebody come and build a massive hotel in this village? Who is going to patronize that person? When they told me that it was Ojusokalu's home. This is a place you cannot call a home. It's like a mini village in a village. You have about 5 lawn tennis courts. Who are the people playing this tennis? What they call the dining area can accommodate 200 people at a time. They use industrial cooking equipment in that house. And you can't even predict where Ojusokalu is sleeping in the night in the number of buildings that you have in that compound. So, who is that person? What is the business Ojusokalu was doing that was so thriving before he built that house? So, I won't blame him, because if he had been allowed to serve his term, he probably would not have been out from Kuje by now. So he can afford to say whatever he wants to say. I don't blame him.
Interesting. All right. In the aspect of insecurity, for example, what is going on in Benue State, some persons within the APC is blaming Governor Hyacinth Alia of playing bad politics, not being able to share the state resources, and that's why they're having the escalating insecurity. They also think that he's incapable of governing the state, has not been able to ensure and secure the lives and property, because every day there are killings in Benue State. So this APC group are calling out Governor Alia. They're saying that he's incapable. They don't think he represents what the APC stands for. So isn't it not shocking that the APC is calling their own person to complain that he doesn't know how to handle the state as to his quietness? Is Governor Alia not waiting for the federal government to do something? Because in all of this, he's been quiet. He has not come out to address anything, aside from Caleb Moftwang, who has come to apologize to his people for the incessant attacks.
I'm surprised that they are talking about, and how can you blame a governor that cannot call the commissioner of police to do anything for him, that cannot call the brigade commander to do anything for him, that he cannot call the Air Force officer commanding of that area to do anything for him? They will tell him, look, we have to take orders from the president or the national security advisor or chief of army staff or chief of defense staff before they can move. So how do you are hamstrung. You're hamstrung. And when you arrest some of these marauders, in the next 1 hour, somebody will call from above, and reluctantly you have to free them. And they go back to their business.
Opposition and majority, please can you appreciate this gentleman? Honorable Aligesi, Honorable George, our newest member of APC, he will come and say hello to you, and I hope you will congratulate him in the spirit of fairness and equity, because we believe that you people will be on their way sooner or later. I hope you will be granted automatic ticket.
Speaker Tajuddin Abbas saying that he hopes he will grant it automatic.
Go back to your seat.
So all the lawmakers congratulated themselves. Tajuddin Abbas called the lawmakers to come and give him a handshake, welcome him to the political party, the APC, being that that's the party that's in charge now. And
please go and shake Honorable Aligesi. Please, my dear colleagues, even at the risk of sounding like a broken drum, I will still rise to draw our attention to Section 68(1)(g) of the Constitution, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, particular interest is of this morning, the letter read this morning. My dear colleagues, if you had listened to that letter, you will understand that our colleague used singular noun all through. I, not his constituents, not the people he is representing. It's a personal decision. He is on a frolic of his own. Our prayer is that APC should not treat him in the APC way. However, we will pray that this House begins to enforce the provisions of Section 68(1)(g). Mr. Speaker, I so move, sir.
Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, while Governor Caleb Mutfwang was struggling and seeing how he can placate his people, this is where the celebratory mood in the National Assembly, the House of Rep today. That was House of Rep, Speaker of the House, Tajudeen Abbas, welcoming the recent PDP defector to the APC. So, in other words, why has that not been a prerogative?
Because they don't care now. Nigeria is not. It's not part of. Nigerians are not part of their business while they are in the National Assembly.
But they are there representing Nigerians.
No, because they are not representing Nigerians. They are representing themselves here, and they are not reps. You get it? Okay. They don't represent Nigerians, because if you represent Nigeria, you will not be doing such things. The whole country is in shambles. Look at the way they are talking. There was a time there, even the senior president said, while you are busy protesting, we'll be busy eating and drinking. I mean, what does that got to mean? Look at that statement from number 3 person. It's like saying to your children, if you are protesting about hunger, me, I don't care, I'll be on the dining table eating and drinking. Why you, my children, are protesting over hunger and lack of school fees, whatever. You get, so that is what we are experiencing. That's where we find that it's very unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate. Now, the fear is even worse, because people are fearing now that their vote will not count. They did 2 billion per senator. 3 of them, that is 6 billion. Now, if you add the 1 billion from the 6 reps, making how much? 6 billion plus what's 120 billion per quarter. For a state, minus what the governor is getting, minus what the local government is getting, and then the people are crying. If you are like that amount, is it enough? Is it not enough to do something very substantial, to do something big for your area? And we don't see anything, and yet they are collecting this thing. If you times what they collect 3 times in a year, is it not up to the total money that a state? This like one we say we should take care.
That is why I was surprised to hear when you backed what Pa Akintoye is saying about secession. Because if you go online right now, I don't know if these supporters are using the umbrella of the entire Yoruba race for whatever is this being called. And that is why you see some certain person thinking that the president is only the president of the Southwest, because they think that that's where he favors. And so if the same Southwest that there's this perception that he's favoring the Southwest, and the same set of persons are saying that they want to secede, it's an irony. It's causing confusion, because the person supporting are under their support with the umbrella that think Yoruba first. Support President Tinubu so that the Yoruba race can be great. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has our agenda at heart. He's going to do, you could see that Orji Uzor said something, if you listen, he said the next time another person will come in is in 2031. That the president cannot be the president forever. He's going to be there for 8 years. And if you look at the video, I don't know if you've seen the video, he was wearing a campaigning shirt. He was wearing a red shirt with President Bola Tinubu for 2027. That was if you look at the entire outfit from the top to the shokoto, it was campaign. It's like a campaign Ankara with just the president's face was not there, but APC President Tinubu 2027. So the campaign has begun, and in his statement he said the president will not be there forever. 8 years, he will do his 8 years, and then so literally that's the campaign. So if you have that, how come a certain set of persons are saying they want to secede? That's the question. We're not trying to create a conversation that brings any form of disunity. We're trying to promote unity, but it's surprising that the very same set of persons who think that the administration of the president will favor a certain region are the ones saying that, okay, you know what, we are seceding. So is this person speaking on behalf of the entire Yoruba race? Yoruba race is a very big, they're a nation. They're literally a nation on their own. Is he speaking on all their behalf? And if he is not, then where is this collective voice coming from? If a referendum is organized at this moment, how many persons will say they want to toe that line? We've not heard this voice aside from Sunday Igboho. Right now, he's been quiet. So that's basically where the confusion is coming from. But let's take the phone line 080-3692-9933 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
My name is Martins from Ago.
Martins from Ago?
Yeah.
All right, Martins, please go ahead.
Yeah, well done for good job VOP is doing.
Thank you.
And I salute Mr. Kundayo and the other guests.
Mr. Dele Fanimo,
yes.
but he has left
Thank
us
you.
now.
The truth of the matter is that you are talking about the guests that came and they are presenting the opinion about the European nation.
Yes.
You don't blame them. Nigeria, as it is, our sisters now, is not united at all. And if you look at it very carefully, you discover that if we go our separate way, Nigeria or those separate entities will do better than what we're having today. Everything we call Nigeria today is a contraction. It's filled with dissent. Those people you are saying now that are saying that on Tinubu mandate we stand because it's a Yoruba point, go and check them very well. They are the people that are benefiting one way or the other. And let me also remind you, every Nigeria have that freedom of self-expression and thought. If you do a referendum today, you will also get to observe how you will see that the people that will actually vote for this Yoruba nation will be far more than those you think that are, gaining from this present regime.
All right, thank you very much. I sincerely do appreciate your input. 080-3692-9933. That is the number to call, 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Esther. How are you?
I am fine, sir. Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
This is Monday from Abiti. I greet your guest there.
Monday. All right.
Because this country is God that is tormenting us, but we don't fear that man in heaven. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. So, in regards to the incessant killings, the National Youth Stakeholders Forum, National Executive Council members with a renewed vigor and mandates in defense of all Nigerians are demanding President Tinubu to declare full-scale emergency against terrorism. The motto is Nigeria for the common good of all of us. The National Youth Stakeholders Forum, they're pleased to announce their renewed national executive officials, and they're saying that their resolve is to address the multi-layers of issues. Most importantly, they're calling on the president alongside all 36 state governors to jointly address the issue of insecurity with all necessary vigor and strategic decision in the fight against terrorism, and make strategic decisions in fighting this as soon as possible across some parts of the country, particularly emphasis on Benue. It is so bad. It has gotten so bad to the point that if you look at how disintegrating the insecurity in the country has created a lot of communities, has caused a lot of communities in a couple of regions, it's a devastating act. It's terrible because me reading out this letter right about now and saying that, for example, I'm sure this is stemming from the recent killings in Plateau State. For this call to have come up, it tells you how serious the situation is. And for this youth are talking, and it seems like the relevant groups and agencies that are responsible in handling this are not speaking. It may seem as if majority of Nigerians are in support or are just keeping quiet because it hasn't gotten to them. I don't know if you understand my drift.
Yes.
So it's so bad. It has gotten so bad. It has gotten so entrenched in our polity that the quietness, the attitude, the lack of response is something else. The National Assembly has not even tried to do that. They haven't even tried to address it.
They are not even talking about
But
it.
the governor was in tears today, and they were celebrating somebody defecting at the House of Reps. I don't understand. I don't understand. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you? Please, when you call, turn down the volume of your radio now. How many times I go tell you now? I beg. 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. When you call, turn down the volume of your radio.
The qualified, competent name of the armorist killed declined from that profession. Esther, let us reason fast. The best thing that you can do to this nation is let every region, let Yoruba, let the outside, let them divide the nation. Let each and every one of them go and they settle their issues. Honestly, because when looking at it, combining it with the North, this nation is going headlong to the grave. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you, Jackson, for calling. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. If you're calling on WhatsApp, sorry, I think the network has some issues, so it may not sustain your call, but you can send messages, all right? 080-3692-9933. That's the number, 080-3692-9933, and the WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. So that's the number where you can actually put in your messages, this WhatsApp number, and you can call 080-3692-9933. Okay, so in the meantime, I think hello, good evening, how are you? Hello? All right, I think the network is trying to disappoint now. Let me read out some messages. This person says on WhatsApp, I'll start from WhatsApp. Good evening, Esther. I thank God as Yoruba, which is the president's language, are now calling for separation. If he can hear the cries of his people, maybe that will help the indigenous people of Biafra too. Let them continue calling him. Okay. Good evening, VOP. Everyone needs to understand that Sowore is Tinubu's boy. His mission for constantly attacking Obi is to give more support to Tinubu ahead of 2027 elections. Shina from Isolo. Okay, Shinner, that's your perspective. Very good. Okay, just because the president hails from your region doesn't guarantee you benefit from the administration. President Tim seems to miss this point. Personally, I've seen no benefit from Tinubu's government. However, as Yorubas, we respect our elders even when they falter, reflecting our cultural values. Abidin from Bagada. All right. Good evening. We wish to remind that at the eve of the civil war, the leader of the Yoruba, late Obafemi Awolowo, told Nigerian federal government that should the eastern region be allowed to separate from the country, the Yoruba shall also separate. We ended up with finance minister appointment and was the one that banded hunger as a weapon of war to the military head of government. Now, Professor Akintoye has become an embodiment of that again. Look, this Yoruba call for secession is just to put a spike in the wheel of all secession calls that has been. The Yoruba can only thrive in the so-called contraption called Nigeria. They should stop pretending as can be independent. Okay, Tochuku from Oban Tochuku Odele Thompson. Good evening, Esther, and your excellent guest. I support that Nigeria. Okay, you guys, please let's not do this. Good evening, Madam Esther, and your guest. My name is Fashino Twain. Look, it is high time we stop talking about ourselves. We should talk collectively, not about Yoruba, Igbo, or Niger Delta. All right, good evening to you all. The fact is that insecurity, poverty, and inflation bedeviling the Southwest is one of the reasons for the agitation for a breakup of the Yorubas. Let this nation not end up what happened to USSR. It's unfortunate that the governors and the president are not having a close grassroots relationship with the people. A leader would organize a town hall meeting to know the plight of the people, but in this case, they are off benchmark or disconnected from the people simply because those surrounding the president are busy thinking of 2027 elections, not facing the plight of the people. Secondly, Sowore should know that applying revolution on opposition parties is not the issue, but having a plan B, where he as a youth should establish a platform that will air the voice of the youth against bad governance. Brother John from Isala. All right, Madam Esther, the topic of today is interesting. Please, your guest, I have a suggestion for them. If they can get those agitating for Arewa, people for Biafra, and people for Oduduwa, can they go to UN and pursue this cause to come through in time? Good evening, okay, good evening, Esther. Can Madam Eunice take the lead so Nigeria will get better? Because for me, I don't see it happening. Angel from Agor. Good evening, Esther and gentlemen. In a sailor climb, Buhari should hide his head in shame. His administration sank this country so low that it looks as if Tinubu's government is about to bury it. It's either we go back to regional or separate coals, or all these big countries like China and India don't have over 200 ethnic languages like Nigeria. We can have united Nigeria like United Kingdom have theirs. From Chief Udo. Good evening. The issue of separation was because of the conditions of this country. People don't know what they do anymore. Angel from Akonwajo. Good evening, everyone in the house. My dear Nigeria, today we don't have hope totally on the present government, and it's now mortgaging the lives of the youth and masses. See how can you be doing business without... Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Emmanuel from Ojo. Good evening, Esther. God never created Nigeria as one. Really? The nature in River Niger and River Benue is an evidence. I just pity the woman that challenged the men in the studio for her hypocrisy. She never loved Nigeria. If her family was among the people killed in Benue or up north as sacrifice for the national peace, she wouldn't be spilling this statement from her mouth. Those sons, brothers, fathers, and husbands of some people wasted in the army is part of the forceful coexistence. Olami Lekon from Barowa. All right. Good evening. Please, separation is imminent. It's high time. The earlier we do it, the better for us. Thanks, Daniel from Agege. While the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct, that's what we must always work together to achieve. Good evening, Esther and your guests. A country where you can be in your home and another citizen will swoop on you and kill you and the government does nothing about it is not a country. Division, later we can relate as independent nations. President Tinubu should not lose the opportunity of dissolving this enterprise. If power moves back to the north without tinkering with this nation, the south will not like what will follow. Livinus from Ejigbo. Good evening, Esther and the guest. Esther, we appear to be helplessly watching Tinubu and his allies destroy this country with what I call an institutionalized corruption aided and abated by the National Assembly, who are profiting big time from it too. What else do you call this level of borrowing and distribution of the proceeds among themselves? The member representing my constituency only buys jam form for students with his own 1 billion constituency project proceeds and pockets the balance, and this is given to them every year. Can you imagine Orji Uzor Kalu that is collecting 2 billion naira freely as a senator calling Nigerians lazy people, just like Buhari that could not pass ordinary wire called Nigerian youth lazy? Orji Uzor Kalu, to whose educational background is never known, is calling out people. It's unfortunate. A legal firm wrote to the president that all the house
locations of the governors have increased. Don't you notice?
It has. It has significantly.
And the presidential allocation has increased too. The presidential salary has increased. The one for the president is submitting 1 point something trillion for Abuja. I don't know what is in Abuja that they want to spend 1 point something trillion.
All right.
I don't know.
Good evening, Esther and all VOP listeners. Heaven and earth knows that Orji Uzor Kalu that served as governor for 8 years, nothing to show for it. Just 2 years of Alex Oti has shown how still he has no shame to come out to say that Nigerians are lazy. Well, I don't blame him. 2027 we will know by special grace of God who is lazy and a thief at the same time. Mr. Rainbow from Egbeda. Mr. Rainbow, you could see that I edited some of the things you said. It's not me you put inside problem. Esther, I'm sure the woman that called and accused everyone of wanting to break Nigeria is over 60 years, going by her voice. These old people don't want to cease from being a problem in changing this country after failing while they were the youth. Maybe one of her sons is bringing in Yahoo money so she doesn't see the reality of the country. Ororo from Ayabo, everyone is entitled to their opinion and perception. She believes that we should no longer be calling for a breakaway because that would take us backward. That's basically what she's saying. At this point in time, how do we resolve the issue, the imbroglio we found ourselves? We're supposed to collectively look for a way forward. If we can collectively look for a way forward to fight off those causing mayhem in this country, fine. But for a breakaway, it will not be easy. Because at this time around, it will take Nigeria back to its primitive years. That's what she said.
Are we not in the primitive years? No, as we are now, we're not in the primitive.
I'm just trying to say that she's entitled to her own perception.
Yeah, okay, you can just edge it that way.
She callously just accused and also blamed me. She also derogated. Well, we are used to this kind of things from our listeners. Good evening, Esther and Mr. Ekunda. I'm very happy that we're being realistic in this radio station. You see the politicians and the British colonialists in conjunction with the NBC. It's another person. Another person, in conjunction with the NBC and media OAPs, have successfully painted the idea of separation as an abomination, and the media will paint whoever proposes such idea as enemy of unity. You see, Nigeria is too different to be one with diverse and even contrasting cultures. It's like compressing different opposing chemicals in one breaker. It cannot work. We're not enemies to each other, but we must embrace the truth that we're different. Please help me remind Nigerians that all the major ethnic groups in Nigeria have been existing before Nigeria with their own civilization. The tribes in Nigeria never come together on their own. We were amalgamated without our permission. We didn't even give ourselves a name we bear. We have heard politicians say Nigeria must remain one at all costs, as if Nigeria is a personal property. Tell Nigerians that we're not enemies, we're just different. Maxi from Amukoko. Well, Maxi, we need to do our job, and what we need to do, one of the etiquettes of broadcasting is to ensure unity despite the challenges. We must preach peace and unity. The media is a strong tool and it can break or make a nation. So it is important that we don't break our nation, but we make our nation. We are highly censored, so we obviously have guidelines that are guiding us, guiding what we say, guiding how we say things. And if anything happens to any of the media practitioners or any of the OAPs or presenters who say something otherwise, and DSS can't carry them, put them underground, you go there. you go there.
Go chop beans.
You go come street, carry placard. In fact, the way that they do them, they don't go even know the person don't disappear.
Yeah.
They don't go.
You think it's kidnapping.
I beg. All right, Mary from Okafa. If Orji Carlos said subsidy is gone, is right. If Nigerians love easy money and are lazy, let Orji come and explain to us why the president is still borrowing money instead of working hard to improve the economy. And after the money is approved, the president will travel abroad for working visit. If Nigerians are lazy, they wouldn't have survived this suffocating economy. We need a government that can improve our economy for good, just like India, China, Germany, not those who are sharing blames instead of stepping down that they have no idea of how to handle things. I support separation so that each group can manage their natural resources. After all, those whom this oil flow through their doorstep seems to enjoy less privileges than those who are trapping it, and it will help to curb excessive killing of innocent souls in this country. Mary from Okalfa. All right, the Yorubas must fight for their freedom, just like MNK, Nelson Mandela, and others. Nobody will give you freedom without fighting for it. Let them keep deceiving themselves. What is your name? What is your name? Good evening, VOP. Audio also Carlos comments about President Tinubu seems more like jest than serious analysis. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Hello.
I can hear you, sir. What's your name?
Somebody that is saying that we
What is your name? What is your name, please?
I called back. Somebody that is saying that we believe that we are lazy. His father is here at Aba. Husband rejected him because of his ill-gotten money. Somebody that the youth are lazy. Her daughter that is in Finland that studied law. Why can't he come bring that daughter down to Nigeria? Let him come and face this economic situation. Let that his daughter that read business law that is sitting there in Finland, eating the whole money that his father embedded in Abia State. Let him come back here and face this terrible economic situation. That is saying that all the whole youth in this Nigeria are lazy. He himself is lazy, his family is lazy, his children is lazy. Even his son, during the time he was a governor, was just driving cars and collecting himself within Abia State until the soldier beat him hands down.
Thank you very much. Is it my job to reel out the president's achievement? The president will say that himself. He will say that out
verify
himself.
When he say it, you will not verify.
Thank you. I should reel out the president's achievement. He will use his mouth, and his people will use his mouth to reel out their achievement. 08036929933. I think I can take 2 more calls because I have a live appearance. 08036929933. That is the number. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
Yeah, it's Martins. I'm calling back.
Why all of you calling back? Why are the other callers? Oh yeah, Martins, go ahead, sir.
I didn't know whether you are the one that caught me when I was talking about this issue of separation by each unit of the country. But that is not why I call back now. I'm calling back because of the statement of Ojo Zakal.
Okay.
It's very unfortunate that people like that talk like kindergarten. People like that talk without using their brain. You know, with the statement Nigeria is lazy, the youth are lazy. Those are just frivolous statements that do not make any meaning. Because if you look at the person saying that, he has not shown any sign of a hard-working Nigerian than any other youth or any other Nigerian. It's just that maybe out of political, alliance or whatever, he was able to have the opportunity to be where he is. I am from Abia State.
All right, sorry, Martins. When you call, put your thoughts together. We don't have time. I'm so sorry. The first time I didn't cut you off, but this time I did. So I need to take 2 more messages. I have a live appearance. I am so sorry. Daniel Morgan from Sowore said, if not that we're in a country where criminality is election rigging, is rewarded with political appointments instead of prison. If not, how can a person like Ojos or Kalo call Nigerians lazy? Okay. This person don't want me to say, Esther, read my messages. Lady E, good evening to you. You guys are doing a good job. Kilo from Barawa, Ijesha. Good evening to VP crew. Kanu is speaking for himself. Lady E, I strongly believe that President Bola Tinubu will be the last president of Nigeria. Spiritually, it has been taking a shape waiting for manifestation. Kilo from Barawa, Ijesha. Kilo! Ha! Taloni prophet. Good evening, Esther and the guests. How often you journalists contradict yourselves? You preach that it is better to separate than to die in any marriage that is not working. Which journalist said so now? By 2027, it may be on Tinubu's government that things should work well, because things cannot continue to go this way. If care is not taken, Tinubu's government... no be me go read that remaining one.
Try now.
No, be me. I'm like, you can't save me if anything happen. Why Ojus Okalu call Nigerians lazy is because he believes that Nigerians can't fight for their rights. In fact, he believes that there is nothing anyone can do to them, but God will disgrace them all. Evangelist Chukuma from Ikoto. Evangelist, now you dey interpret. You know here waiting in talk. You know here say now Tinubu, because Tinubu block the easy way of making money, that things are now being done right, and that's why they are complaining that things are hard. That's just because they are lazy. No help them interpret them. Now so he talk him there. Okay. Following Keshi Olakule says the Niger film is getting more interesting. Let's wise up. Okay, you're sending your message from Sowore, Lagos. Esther, I smell rats.
Where?
You see?
Is it roasted rat?
Joe from Bariga.
Is it roasted rat? Well roasted.
Oh my God. Good evening, Esther. Your guest in the house. Please, Oji Uzokalu should go and have rest. He's just a political. And please let him know that the Igbos are watching and waiting for him. He will understand what I'm saying when hold on. Okay, we have live appearance. How are you, sir?
I'm very, very fine.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good evening, Mr.
Please tell us how to invest properly, Biko.
Okay, good evening.
Good evening.
Nigeria. Once again, my name is Victor from Kudos Homes Limited, and I'm here to present all the wonderful opportunities we have, so that money that you have, you can start thinking of how you can invest it wisely. So we have several properties here in Nigeria. We have in Lagos, we have in Enugu, and we also have in Delta State. So let me talk about the ones that we have here in Lagos. So in Lagos, we have Kudos Heritage. In fact, Kudos Heritage is currently on a promo. So instead of 2.5 million naira, you can get a plot of land in Kudos Heritage with just 950,000. Now, Kudos Heritage is located at Omuke Tuekpe, and is a very good location. So we have other estates in Omuke Tuekpe. We have the Kudos Heights. Kudos Heights is selling at 4.5 million naira per plot. So if you want to seize this opportunity, because the promo will be ending very soon, I believe on the 31st of this month, that promo will be ending. So it's best for everyone that want to invest, that want to own a plot of land. It's time for you to have your own plot of land. If you have been saving money when we were selling 2.5, it's time to own your own plot at the price at 950,000 naira per plot. So let me quickly call my phone number. The number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Now we also have in Ikorodu we have Kudu City, which is located in Agbowa, Ikorodu. Now Kudu City is currently selling for 1.5 million naira per plot. So with 1.5 million naira, you own a plot of land in Kudos City, Agbowa, Ikorodu. Now let's go to Delta State. In Delta State, we have the Fairview Estate Phase 2, which is located in Ibuzo main town, and it's currently selling for 2.5 million naira per plot. We also have Kudos Height in Delta State, in Ibuzo, Delta State, and Kudos Height is selling for 1.5 million naira per plot. And we also have the Kudos Court, which is a buy and build estate, and Kudos Court is currently going for just 4.5 million naira per plot. So you'll be asking, why are all these estates located in Ibuzo? Now the reason why we have all these estates in Ibuzo is because Ibuzo is a fast developing city in Delta State, and these estates are very close to the Delta State International Airport. That's the Asaba International Airport, just 5 minutes away from the Asaba International Airport, and it's also very close to the first and second Niger Bridge. Now let me quickly call my phone number for you again. The number to call is 0905 904 7514, 0905 904 7514. Now don't forget, every Thursdays and Saturdays we go for inspection here in Lagos. So if you love to go and see the Kudos Heritage that's selling for 2.5 but now in promo, now selling for 950,000, you can join us tomorrow, which is Thursday, and you can also join us on Saturday. And you can come to our office. Our office location here in Lagos is at number 171 Egbeda Idimo Road, Abule Udu bus stop, Egbeda, Lagos. 171 Egbeda Idimo Road, Abulu Udu bus stop, Egbeda, Lagos. We also have our offices in Delta State and in Enugu, and we also go for inspection in Delta and Enugu every day, excluding on Sundays. You can go on from Mondays to Saturday, excluding on Sundays. So, and we are also on social media. You can get us on Facebook and Instagram at Kudos Homes Limited. So seize this opportunity to own a plot of land here in Lagos at Kudos Heritage Umuketu Ekpe with just 950,000. So before I go, the number again to call is 0905 904 7514, 0905 904 7514. So start investing today.
All right, Kudos. Victor, thank you very much for
right.
that insight. Yes, that was Kudos home right there. That was the life appearance I was telling you about. So let's know how to diligently, invest. Investment is a key right now. Okay, so it's time for us to wrap up. But however, before I go, I will take a few messages on YouTube. Joe from Bariga, no be me go read your remaining message. You sure you hear me? No be me go read that message, I beg. So I don't read that part. Esther, I smell a rat, but I'm not going to read the remaining one. No be me. Sure you understand? Okay. Ojikalu that moved from Senate to prison and back to Senate is calling Nigerians lazy. You don't create jobs for youth, didn't stop insecurity and killing of farmers for Nigerians to farm, didn't create ease of doing business, high tariff and taxes and companies closing down, foreign investors, they are going around to shop for not coming. Honestly, this administration, APC, is a cancer, according to Wike from Chief Udo. All right, Chief Udo, well done. Let me go to YouTube. I did not take some of your messages. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Tonas Albert, how and where did he admit that? Toners, you need to read, okay? I used to tell you guys, you will not do your research or you will not start from the beginning. You just come and be typing. It makes you look funny. Little mistakes. It is funny how your guest said that Yoruba brings only the best, but the same people brought Tinubu to power. You guys.
Hey, my God, that is very upside down.
Hey, but the Yoruba, but the same people brought Tinubu and supported them. You'll be so shocked that it was not only the Yorubas that supported Tinubu. The Igbos, some Igbos did, some Edo people did, some Benue people did.
This Orji Kalu that is speaking is a Yoruba man from Ondo State now. Or maybe he's from Ogun State.
Okay.
This is Orji.
Abidin Adeyemo, Yorubas fight intellectually. Abidin Adeyemo will respect our elders. Lawson Amadi, Akintoye is just playing a script. He supported Tinubu for president. He's not agitating for anything. Abidin Adeyemo, we don't play to the gallery. Abidin Ademo, the word Emilo come by Tinubu was party internal affairs. Abidin, I'm inviting you officially to come to this radio station. I need you to come and speak with Barrister Darlington. I want both of you to talk very, very well. Abidin, I'm calling you out, Abidin. Babatunde Awolaja, Esther, the Yorubas did not support Tinubu. Only their APC members in Yoruba always sing their praises. After all, he lost in Lagos. Esther, please go to the streets of Lagos and ask questions. White Lion, I have stopped believing in Sowore when I notice he has permanent residency in America. I don't trust that kind of people. Babatunde Awolaja, Tinubu has always been getting the support of sycophants and beggars going to Bordelon in Ikoyi to ask for money and anointing into political offices. Again, go to the streets of Lagos. Ngozika, we're working on it. I'm so sorry. Emeka Nweke, the Nigeria UK government should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Prince Okoro, those holding Kanu are holding every will. Hey, Emeka, they can never win. This is not 1967. Okay, Chukumba. Why does this thing keep dropping? Okay, Chukumba says Nigeria is never a one country right from the onset. Nigeria is a British company. Nigeria is a forced union by the British selfish interest. Okay, also, Chukwuka Dennis says, Mr. Delefarutimi said, what did Mr. Delefarutimi say again? As long as Nigeria keeps holding the Igbos down, Nigeria may not move forward. Okay, Ndonga said, Victor, good evening. All these politicians should stop saying the president's policy is working. Working for who? Let them speak for themselves, please, not the masses, because it's choking us seriously. Monday from Amkoko. Ayodeji Adeoye, Peter Obi should be careful. I remember Funshaw Williams. He was a shore governor in waiting, loved by the Lagosians, but was assassinated few months to 2007 elections. Nothing will happen to him, and nothing will happen to any one of them. Pastor Vanity Van Gogh, there is no difference between Sowore, Lai Mohammed, Reno Mokri, and Femi Fani-Kaide. They are simply Joe Big. Mr. Man, please sell that land in Lagos to Unade Para. Oh, Guinea. I beg. What's your final take, Vico? These people, you cannot read everything. Go ahead, please.
So just what I want to say is just simply this. Nigeria was a great country before the military took over and gave us this rubbish, this fake. So that is what exactly is causing the problem. So we need to go back to the basis where Nigerians came together to agree to live together.
Exactly.
We need to go back to that time, and then everything will work as it was working then. Not this one in which they forced upon us and gave us fake, calling it original. It's like you buy fake from China. Let me use that word because I'm not afraid to mention China. You buy fake from China and you bring it to Nigeria. You begin to spend money on it every now and then. Today it will go out, tomorrow it will break down. You push it. Oh, that is the way. That's what is happening now. So the best thing is to pack it aside and go and get the original. So we'll go back to the basis. That regionalization that we signed together, and then everybody agreed to our agreement. That was when Nigerians came together to agree. That is what was working, not this one. And the second, another fallacy they gave us is to be calling the midpoint of Nigeria as mid-north. I keep saying, central north. How can you call not central at the edge? You are calling something central at the outskirts. How does that make sense? You see, we have the north, we have the south. In the middle of the north and south, we are calling it north central. How can that be north central? It's supposed to be middle belt. You understand? It's supposed to be a region of its own. But because we are forced, that's why you see this killing and terrorism is happening around that area majorly. And because it's essential, they want to exterminate those who are there. And since they are not existing already, they have already used the word north to override their existence. Now it's now to take care of them completely. That is what exactly is going on. That's why you see that major thing happening within that middle belt of Nigeria. So they need to, their senators, their reps needs to come on board and let the Nigerians know that no, we are not central. We are mid-Nigerian region.
Mid-Nigerian region.
Yes, just like we used to have this Midwest. No,
Okay.
Midwest.
Okay.
No, we had Midwest.
Yes.
They're supposed to have their
Way
own.
back then. Back then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we need to wrap up right about now. Okay, so this person says to Aberdeen, you miss Barrister Darlington so much that you can't afford to make a complete sentence without mentioning his name, even when he's absent. Now, like this random starter, Esther, you want to kill Aberdeen? Barrister Darlington go chop him like crayfish. Make him ask Mr. Tochukwu how. Curse, even kudos. Yes, so kudos collect. So Mr. Aberdeen is Darlington's friend. So, you know this kind of friendship, this kind of love-hate friendship. He's my friend too. Mr. Aberdeen, I'm inviting you at some point. We would like to have that intellectual discourse with you right here in the studio. Let's make this relationship official. Let's take it to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, to be honest with you, it's important that the federal government considers the agitation of the people. We can only promote peace and unity. We have coexisted for this long. We have intertwined. We have intermingled. In as much as it's obvious that there are differences, but we can only preach peace and unity. So how do we continue to coexist peacefully? If the federal government knows what to do, they should do it. If you know those are causing problems in this country, please fish them out, clear them out. Don't pander. Don't look at their faces. I don't know what you're afraid of. You have the political will. You have the might. So do the needful. An APC chieftain confirmed today that there are certain persons for their selfish interests that deliberately causing the insecurity in the country, that we should not blame the president. So if they know who these people are, if they know where they're from, why don't you do the needful? That's my own. You know who they are. You don't need them. You don't need to pander to them. Don't you think that if you do what is right, the people will vote for you? Nobody will say. You will see that overwhelming support. Forget that. Oh, you need the North all the time. It has gotten bloated. It's an over bloated way of thinking. If you know those who are constituting this nuisance, debilitating the effect of this nation,